speaking to him was about the voter registration exercise. That barely Boadu. Let's correct this since you're online. What I see is Boadu. What's the name, please?
The name is Emmanuel Boam.
Boam.
Yes.
Okay.
So you are giving me a new name, right?
Noted. Duly noted. I'll correct that. Thank you for your time.
All right. Thank you.
How is Pru East?
Pru East, we are in a state of dilemma. We are in a state of shock. We are in a state of confusion as most of our displaced relatives, residents, haven't been attended to for some time now. And it's more like we are left on our own. Nobody cares about what is happening in Pru East. It's like it's only the residents, only the communities that are holding tight to each other. There seems not to be any external force that is showing any concern, any care for our victims. Let me say good morning to all your listeners this morning, and also thank you for the opportunity given Pru East to also bring to light some of our challenges, some of our problems we've encountered for the past month after the Bagre Dam was opened, and then to add on to it the spillage of the Akosumo Dam, also affecting most of our communities. On record, we have about 45 communities along the banks of the river that have been displaced. 45 communities with over 2,000 residents now finding it difficult to get accommodation, to put it right, to get a place to lay their head. Not just accommodation, a place to lay their head.
45 communities, over 2,000 residents looking for a place to just lay their head.
Exactly. And most of their commercial activities have been brought to a halt. To give you a better perspective of our area, Pru East is at the far east of Bono East region. When I say the far east, when you hit Atebubu Mountain, where you are coming from Ashanti region, you get to Edra. Edra happens to be the last city or town in the Ashanti region. Right from Edra, then you hit Amantin Atebubu. So Amantin Atebubu is the constituency for Honorable Sanja Nanja. So right from Amantin, you hit Atebubu. Then after Atebubu, you hit Pine, which is Pru West. Then after Pine, you hit Yeji. Between Yeji and Salaga is the lake. So there's a ferry that can take you to the northern Ghana by about 30 minutes or 35 minutes cruising on the lake. Then you end at the shores of Makango, which is northern Ghana. So it is only the lake that separates us from the north. So when you come to Yeji at the moment, most of our fisher folks are resident along the banks of the river. And as I speak, I'm telling you about 45 communities. And we are still counting. Yesterday, about 2 other communities have also been displaced. So the reality is this. After the Bagre Dam was opened, we know these things are perennial. Every year we have some kind of experience on flooding. But the reason why this year has been too extraordinary is that the volume of water or rainfall has actually gone up, has increased. The Volta Lake is a tributary to all the streams along our areas. So you have the Pru River being linked to the Volta you have Ankobra, you have all other forms of rivers in the country that end up in the lake. So the volume of water or the volume of rainfall will automatically affect the Volta Lake, because that is the end of their transition. Wherever the stream is, the rain falling, the volume of water will end up into the lake. So even before the Bagri Dam was opened, we've already had some flooding issues. So when the Bagri Dam was opened, then it became worse. As I speak to you, even Yeji, the district capital, has a lot of flooding issues than before. This has not been experienced over even for the past 20 years. The levels of water we've experienced at the banks in Yeji, the district capital, for over 20 years, we've never experienced such. And that is the reality I'm telling you. We've never experienced such levels that the river will overflow its bank to that level. As I speak to you, houses that originally are not prone to flooding have all been submerged in the lake. Now there are about 20 communities are no more in existence. They've been washed into the lake.
As many as 20?
20 have been washed into the lake. They are no more in existence. I don't know if your media production team has the videos from our end. You would see some of them seeking for land just to put on tents. And these tents are not any kind of tent you can envisage. These are wooden tents with plastic, rubber, this rubber bags that have been put together for people to sleep under this. Very horrifying, very dangerous, very scary, because these are, if you've been to the lake side, you'll see that before the lake, you find bushes around. These are some of the bushes the youth have cleared, and they are living with their pregnant women, their children below 5 months, 3 months. You see children as old as a month. All these children are living in the bush under no proper care, no form of relief items being given or being sought for these people. It's so embarrassing. It's so inhumane for people to have gone through such predicament. It is no fault of theirs. Yes, they are fisher folks. They live along the river. But the problem we've had is that after these communities have been washed, at least we expect NADMO to come to their aid. I have personally gone to NADMO within the district. We have called on the region. They will tell you they don't have any relief items for us. And they just go blunt like that. We have no relief items. How? National Disaster Organization. So a national disaster has befallen Pru East, Volta Lake. We are getting us pillaged over because of Volta River Authority, and nobody seems to care. Nobody seems to care. I must commend media for what it's done. When the issue of lower Volta came, the agility with which media is reporting this issue, we really appreciate. But most of the time, we are also forgotten. Pru East is forgotten because we find it not too attractive enough. Pru East is far from Accra. Pru East is about 8 hours drive from Accra. So nobody wants to visit Pru East to ascertain the reality on the ground. But the reality is that people, eligible citizens of Ghana, are being denied basic care, after going through a natural disaster. And that is the state of Pru East as we speak today.
So your main issue is the lake, perhaps overfeeding the streams that go through the town. Exactly. That goes to the constituency, okay.
You know, it is about the streams that are rather being fed. The lake is being fed by streams.
Okay.
And these streams, because of the heavy rains, they are overflowing. So, for instance, when you get to Numuase is between Yeji and Atibubu. there is a stream which we have a bridge over. About 2 months ago, that bridge collapsed. And looking at the magnitude of rains that were passing through that bridge, it couldn't contain it. And that has been another worry to the residents along that stretch, because it is a dual carriage. One side has collapsed. And looking at the fact that rainfalls haven't stopped, the rains are still in the clouds. So there's a challenge that the other side of the bridge will equally break down. Because this originally was made to take some quantity or some volume of water. And for this year, the rainfall pattern has been said that the volume of water we have seen has gone beyond expected. And even the bridges that are built to carry this quantity of water are not able to contain it, because they are overflowing and the bridges are sinking. That should tell you the magnitude of rain or water that is entering the Volta Lake. So with this thing, even if Bagri Dam is not open, if Akosumo Dam is not open, originally the levels of water we are going to see this year will go beyond known. And all these other two factors, the opening of the Bagri Dam, Akosumo spillage, all came into being. And everything just went abnormal. And as I spoke to you earlier, the levels of water where we don't even expect, within Yeji, the district capital, where we don't expect flooding to occur, flooding has occurred this time around. And about 4 days ago, 5 days ago, we lost 2 people, 2 children of ours, 2 people in one of the communities.
Oh, you've lost lives?
We've lost lives. 2 people drowned. 2 people drowned. And you see, because we are far from you in Accra, it's like everything is fine. Everything is normal. Everything is okay. It is just a river that has overflown its bank. Yes. But if we don't take pragmatic effort to solve or to cater for the people along this stretch, trust me, we are going to see a lot of chaos. We are going to see a lot of death, a lot of disaster, calamity coming upon the residents than what we are experiencing now. Because those who have relatives within the district capital have moved to them. Those who have properties within the district capital, they've moved into it. But majority of these residents are living in tents. I don't know if you have seen the footage of the tents we have. These are not normal tents. These are some sticks put together, tied in a conical form, with rubber bags put on them. And this one, you find a whole family. One of them I visited, the husband, the wife, 2 in-laws and their children occupying a single tent, just like that.
Husband, wife, children, 2 in-laws.
Yes. The mother of the wife and then the mother of the husband. And you have sick people who have to be carried from their community. And this particular community is washed away. In fact, if we get there and I tell you...
Washed away means that they will never get the opportunity to go and occupy their rooms.
Yes. It's been washed away. You know how our residents, our accommodations are, the settlement. It is mostly, because they are villages, it is mostly done with thatch, and then those who have little resources, they will roof it. But mostly they are mud, or it's a few people who are able to put on brick or block houses. So when you go into the area at the moment, the only settlement you could see, or the only buildings to testify that people used to live here, is the block houses, because they are very difficult for them to immerse in water. And then the light poles, the electric poles you can find, that will tell you that yes, indeed, people used to reside here. Apart from that, all the mud houses, the thatch that were used to roof it, everything gone. Everything. You will not even find that people used to live here. And this is where the challenge is. The turbidity of water has also been serious. So For them to get water to drink, they have to take their canoes, go into the middle of the lake, use their jerrycans to fetch water before they bring it to the house to drink. Because all the shores of the lake, the banks of the lake, have all been very dirty. Very dirty. And this is the kind of challenge we've had. Nobody seemed to care. Nobody seemed to.
When did the situation in Pru East start?
In fact, as I told you, ours started immediately, let me say, in the month of September last month.
September?
Early last month, we started seeing people being, the lake was overflowing its bank. So we saw people moving. So you get 2 or 3 people, the rains have come to their end. So I think Adom News came to cover it when it wasn't too serious. And for them, in the month of October is a period where mostly the rainfall will just cease, and then the flooding will go back. Like the rains will have to push back because no more inflows into the lake. So whatever overflow levels they have, you see the draining starting. Unfortunately, in the month of October, that is even when the rainfall, as if it has just started. The quantity, the volume, the number of times you find rain falling, it's just normal. These are climate conditions, and you cannot control them. So when we saw this, I visited all these communities, made the story, and told the assembly that, look, we have to do something about this. Please help us save our people. We've spoken about this severally. I have personally gone to the Ghana Health Directorate and told them that from the visits I've done, from the tour I've done, there's serious health, health disaster looming, because most of these villages, they don't have public toilets. So the places of convenience are within the bushes. And the river has overflown its banks into these bushes. So if we don't take pragmatic effort to make sure we get something proper for them, trust me, related waterborne diseases will hit us. In fact, even mosquito nets, I went to the directorate to get it for our people. They told me they don't have mosquito nets.
I get a picture of how bad your situation is. But in most of the cases where we've had discussions, people talk about the presence of NADMO. In North Tongue, for example, there's even the presence of the military. In South Tongue, there's a naval commander trying to help them out. Do you see that? Has NADMO been there? Have there been any efforts to help ameliorate the whatever challenges your people are facing?
No.
Not at all?
No, not even a visit of NADMO official to these people to say that, look, we've heard your plight. We've seen what you are going through. We don't have relief items now. Maybe we are trying to procure some, or we can't get for you, or at least just to feel or empathize with these people. Visit them, empathize with them. Let's see that indeed you've even heard that they are going through this challenge. No, nothing. For me, it is only one of the communities that the DC has visited that I know of. When I visited them, they told me DC has been here. And for some of them, the chiefs and the people within the community came together to relocate them from the banks of the river to a safer place. The question is, we've given them land that we've shown them this land you can occupy. How do people who are in this distress go to raise maybe tents or something for themselves without any support? These people, all their belongings, their properties, everything has been immersed, everything swept away. And you've given them a place. So what the NDC did was to go and donate some iron sheets to them that they should use, at least if they have any thing to do raising their sheds, they can use it for the meantime. Apart from what I have gone to see, and then the NDC donating, There hasn't been anything from government. Nothing. Except some individuals who might have donated some amount of money or cement. People have donated cement bags to a few of the communities. And these are even the communities within the district capital who have experienced the flooding. But when you move from the district capital, where about 45 villages have been cut off the district capital because their roads are inaccessible now, you could only access their road with a canoe or an outboard motor. There's no way these people could come to the district capital. Even for market days, they are unable to come. So this has actually given a picture of how their situation is. But unfortunately, NADMO is not seeing, and you see, I'm talking for Pru East, but I know Sini West and Sini East, Kajeji, Kwame Danso, these are also places along the shores of the lake, the banks of the lake. So what we are going through, I believe, I've not been there. I know very well that is what they are also going through. But have you heard of news on Bono East, Far East area, also along the lake of the banks of the Volta Lake? Have you heard any news about us? No. It just means that the people, the NADMO authorities within our region have failed to even act. And that is, to me, that is quite discriminatory. That is quite unacceptable for we to behave as if some people, lives of some people doesn't matter. Me, that is how I conclude the whole thing. That some lives do not matter. But please, for Christ's sake, as a country, we need to be pragmatic. We need to move and preach a life that matter to the state. But our authorities who have been left in their custody do not see that. And that is quite painful to me when I see the situation. It's quite unfortunate. Yeah, we know Lower Volta. All these authorities you've mentioned, including Ghana Navy, Ghana Armed Forces, they are there. Even though their challenges are overwhelming, at least when the people see that there's some level of activities being done to alleviate their pain, they get consoled, they get empathized as well. But for us to have this whole thing happening for like 2 months and nobody seems to care about us, my brother, it's quite unfortunate. It's quite ununderstandable. I don't get it. And I'm only a parliamentary candidate. The people have not given me that mandate to do that, to go and talk for them. But in my own corner, in my own small way, this is what I'm doing for my people. And I have visited them not once. And between now and the close of the week, I'll have to be there as well, just to share with them how I feel. I've procured some of the poly bags, the rubber they use for their tents. I have procured them personally to go and give it to them so that those who have still not gotten places to sleep, they can use it. And unfortunately, when you sleep at the comfort of your home, you cover yourself with a blanket. These people cover themselves with a poly bag, with polythene, because they are sleeping out there and the level of cold, it is raining. Sometimes you are sleeping and the rains are falling. Your touch is leaking. So the only thing you can do is to find some sleep for your children. You cover them with that rubber, that plastic. Okay. That is how their situation is. Very bad. Very bad.
Mr. Boam, thank you very much for speaking to us.
Thank you. Thank you, Mahmoud, for the opportunity given me.
Emmanuel Boam is NDC parliamentary candidate for Pru East, joining us on the line. There are a few more places that we will go to and try to get an understanding of what the situation is in these areas. Today, we are doing rounds around the country. We are moving around the country to try to understand where we are.